idea what to do when he gets these big leads and gets ahead. That game, it was on display. Jensen is fed. He's got these early kills. We're fighting around mid lane. We're ganking mid lane again. We're taking advantage of a summonerless Golden Glue. Then we're team fighting with this fed member, this Orianna, that excels in team fights. And that's how they push ahead with these leads and grab those victories. We'll see if it does come to fruition here in game number 3. This is winner take all. Team Liquid or Cloud9. Who's going to be able to get that win on the board here? Week 8.
I gotta say, the surging here in the end from Team Liquid has to feel good for them. They are putting up games that they didn't even come close to in the beginning of the split, but they need to find those results. They need to find those victories. 4-11 gets them in that left column. They 8-6 now. Cloud9, we're just finishing up the first phase of bans. Last one for each team. That Caitlyn was left up last time, and it didn't seem to do too much in lane. Piglet and Matt held off. Maybe they'll be free to leave it up again.
I'd be very doubtful if they leave that one on the board, but as you said, it was left up last game. The Cloud9 fidget spinner on display. The crowd goes wild. Jarvan actually top lane ban here for Team Liquid. They want to get one or the other, right? Trying to leave up both those OPs. Are you going to give us Ballista? Are you going to give us Caitlyn? Before they first picked Maokai, but that one's off the board as well. There's not really a tank that holds that same kind of weight. Maybe Cho'Gath, but people have kind of backed off on the Cho'Gath hype train as far as that early of a pick.
Haven't seen too much Corki as of late, but we also haven't seen too much Elise. We see a lot on that ban list. As you can see, she was in game 2 on the ban list from the side of Cloud9. Now she will be in. And in the hands of Reignover.
Yeah, Reignover, he had some very good games on Elise like a couple years ago. He definitely has had success on this champion. That's what I'm trying to say. In the past, we'll see if he can actually make it happen once again. It definitely does require the more proactive early game, and it also requires probably some laners to be drafted alongside with some pushing lanes. It'll be interesting to see what type of matchup you want to draft into Jensen though, as that has been a Jensen favored mid lane here. I think Taliyah is actually probably should be the go-to pick for Team Liquid to match up with this Elise. I mean, they work really well together. Elise can get in there, repel in, get the cocoon down so that you can set up a seismic shove. Golden Glue, as I said before, also feels really comfortable on that champion, and feels like we learned a lot. But there it is, as we said, Caitlyn banned, so Kalista not having to face Tristana feels like they're going to lock that one in.
10 seconds. What will they pick? Just the last one for Golden Glue. This has actually been Taliyah most of the time, if not within the first 3. And
got my money on it.
Gonna be again. Taliyah locked in for Golden.
Pay me out.
Pay me.
All right, Cloud9 though. Let's see. Maybe they want to actually snag. Well, I was not going to say Vel'Koz though.
Sorry, I was mesmerized for a second. I don't know what happened.
Citrus is what I was going to say. If now that I've seen the Vel'Koz, I want them to do that instead.
Oh, Ori gets locked in. A little more lockup from the chain of corruptions on that Varus that Seek will be bringing in for a bit of an easier shockwave. Plus last game, it always feels good to be able to re-roll a champion, even if it's not a salty rollback. You get to just do it again, and this Orianna is going to be coming off that victory for Jensen. With just about 10 kills, player of the game. Let's see it again if he can do it.
Yeah, we'll see if they get any type of early skirmishes to get him fed early on once again. I think Golden Glue would like another crack at this matchup, and he's the one now with the Elise jungling for him. So should be interesting to see if Reignover really does try and play around that lane, or try and get off, Kalista. If you can get Kalista, as we said, the mid-game spike is insane for her. Leads into dragon control, leads into team fight prowess. It's definitely rewarding to go down there as well.
Oh, Gnar getting taken out for impact. Lorlo not wanting to match up against that on the top side. His Maokai's gone from game 1 as well. What is Cloud9 final ban?
Yeah, it seems like he still would like to play a tank maybe in the top side, because whenever you have Elise jungle, it leaves your 5-on-5 a little bit flimsy if you do not get a tank from the top side. Things like Taric can still shore up that weakness, and you use the invulnerability of his ultimate to try and round it out, but it does make things a little bit more difficult. and they're trying to ban out some of those champions that can be good against them.
We do know Smoothie used that Taric to great effect against Dignitas most recently. They were kind of pummeled into game 1 super quick, and then C9 was able to right the ship, find a way back through a bit of that bot lane. Final ban Trundle on the side of Team Liquid, and now we start our second pick phase.
As I said, 2 tank shredders banned away because Team Liquid's still looking for that front line, and Cloud9 have the availability of, you know, a Graga swap, either jungle, either top lane.
To go back to the Taric. I mean, it worked out.
Penny again.
Worked out really well. He's got that brilliance on lockdown. He'll be running in the wind with some wavy hair.
It really has been a Smoothie special. He was one of the first North American LCS players to really jump on this Taric. He's been playing it for a long time. Really enjoys the team fighting power that he brings later to the game. And Taric himself has gotten a recent round of buffs. Increase the damage on the stun, even at level 1. Yeah, the cooldown is a little bit longer, but it isn't that big of an issue if you're able to choose your engages. Plus, a little bit more healing coming from him, kind of consistency there. But now it's going to be Matt, one of the champions he was originally known for when he first got into the LCS. The Bard play, will it be there once again?
Power coming in from Talia and Callista here as they lock in the Shen.
A lot of cross-map play here for Team Liquid. I was talking about tanks. They want a tank still to lock in. This is one that's a bit more versatile than even I was expecting. They have Talia, Bard, and Shen. So much possibility of long-range plays. But it seems to me that Team Liquid are drafting themselves into a comp that takes, you know, more skill, more coordination, more, you know, communication to actually pull off. And it's more risky than default to the super strong 5-on-5 with your battle lines, you know, super strong tank on the front line and hyper-scaling DPS later. But we shall see. Contracts locks himself into Kha'Zix to go after Reignover.
All right.
Not going to jump on the Sejuani or any type of Cinderholds for himself, or even trade over to Impact here. And Impact's actually going to take the Gragas into Shen instead of something like a Rumble or whatever that they have previously paired.
Nice that they kind of draw a few bans at that as well, saying, oh yeah, the Gragas' contracts. Remember, this is what he likes. Giving that up to Impact. That Trundle was in there and whatnot, so they get past a few bans. We are heading into game 3. Bane and Reaper say, good luck, sir. We are heading to the back, and we get to watch in anticipation and stress. I wonder how stressful it is to actually watch. You're like, make this play. You see everything from top down. You wish you could just tell them, but you can't. It's up to the players, and that's what happens here in each game, especially game 3. Pushing each other to the limits here. Hashtag TL win, hashtag C9 win. Cloud9 looking to get themselves to the top of that, top of the standings, but more so secure that playoff spot in a better position.
Definitely true, and they've once again drafted some good team fighting for themselves. Bottom lane crowd control, Jensen on Orianna, an Impact and Initiator. Let's see if it does pay off for them yet again, because game number 2 was very convincing from them.
The oath has been taken. Matt gets that one. We'll see how the Fate's Call works for those two in the bot lane. Fate's Call, Tempered Fate. Great little combination to be played back and forth. Pretty much adjust the fight and take it when you want.
Yeah, Team Liquid are going to have to, because as I said before in Champ Select, this team composition takes so much more coordination, because you cannot just rely on outstatting 5-on-5, you know, with the previous setup. You have to take advantage of all the mobility, and they have a tremendous amount of it. You know, Elise is an early game jungler. You try and get the pressure going, that you steamroll that with level 6 Shen ultimates, level 6 Talia roams. Those Bard ultimates that you're talking about are a great way to set all of that up. So Team Liquid need to count on cross-map coordinated plays to farm up this gold, farm up an experience lead, and kind of run Cloud9 around the map, trying to pick up objectives after they're able to get these picks and after they're able to get those kind of surprise plays going.
Very even all to start things out. Doesn't even look like there'll be any late invades on the Raptor camps. Quick start and help here from Golden Glue. Actually, I was gonna say, does Golden Glue get help from Matt? Matt started to rotate up. I was like, he's gonna get some Raptors for himself? A little cheeky play, but you do not want to lose that experience in bot lane for either member. Just start off regular on both sides.
Yeah, you do not, and it looks like both of them are putting a lot of effort into bottom lane this game. Reignover is starting up on the blue side, so it's a possibility he even heads down there for an early Elise gank. As we said, it's very rewarding, can be very rewarding to get a Kalista an early advantage in lane. They love to bully lane, especially with the Bard here. Smoothie gets off a nice little trade with his stun and passive as well, though.
Pretty early ward placed out by Liquid just to make sure there's no funny business down towards the bot side. And looks like rush control is the thing, the word of the lane at the moment. Back and forth, the dazzles, the cosmic bindings. And eyes on contracts. Now to help Reignover. It was kind of the other way around last time. We'll see if Reignover can get under the skin of contracts.
Yeah, and he has full momentum here. I mean, this is at least level 3, so he's got control of the map at the moment. Stun here, another dazzle lands, and there they go!
A little too aggressive, Piglet getting that damage within the minions. They are able to trade back eventually. Summoners down on both sides. Heals have been held though.
Reignover's gonna repel over to this Blast Stone real quick, then use the Blast Stone over to the Krugs. Continue farming his jungle, and that bottom lane, able to get the flash down on Piglet.
Yep.
It is definitely a possibility if Contracts clears his red and then returns all the way back down to that side to try and punish, but it's definitely going to be a while before he makes it back to that area.
Fast back by them as they were forced through. Just a fairy charm coming in from Matt. Can really level up quick, get some extra gold out of those auto attacks he's going to be in spells he'll be using. See if Sneaky and Smoothie continue to push that pressure in the bot side. A little love from Lorlo, sees contracts. Now they have seen him on the bot and the top side here. Reignover said basically fed the information consistently, so he should be able to move clean around the jungle.
Contracts leashing the Krugs to maximum length so that Shen doesn't pull any funny business, and just in case there was a Reignover there, since they haven't seen Elise in quite a long time. You can tell, look at this zoning though, because I really like to talk about the way Kalista lanes play this, with especially with double range matchups, taking advantage of her passive. Matt moving up, just the first half down there. They do dazzle him on the other side though, and Piglet does not get his auto off to proc that extra damage. So a bit of a small win there for C9. So Piglet is getting his CS done, while his Sneaky has to give up a couple of them.
To the tether bot lane. Never leave the tether of your support. We see the Bastion coming in from Smoothie onto Sneaky. That gives them the double.
Obi boots!
Big, look at a taunt back in. Says, I'll take a few more hits. Big damage from the volatile Spiderling and a hit from Reignover. But he's got that wave in a pretty good spot. Impact can just keep body slamming out of bad situations.
So pretty good dodging there from Impact. Able to get back into the minion wave, so the Cocoon's gonna go wide. Not too much of a threat there. No summoners burned. If Contracts decides to go for Scuttle or something. They know they don't have any mid lane momentum here. Golden Glue first over to the roam. Jensen is in base. That's why Contracts did not want to fight anything.
Very quick, just a few lost chapters for the mid laners as they return. Remember, Piglet does have that buy, so not a huge amount of damage. He does have extra potions to work with if they get into a scuffle on that bot side. Everything fizzles out for now. It's a bit of a lead here for Golden Glue, but Jensen does have some minions to pick up.
Yeah, we'll get a couple of them for himself. The other interesting thing is, because Contracts just counter jungled there down on that red quadrant and left his ward behind, they should still be communicating with Impact. Hey, it's very probable that Reignover's up on this top side. He's coming for round number 2. The taunt lands this time.
Not a lot of mana on this one. Impact looks like he will be going down. Can't get to the thick part of the wall even. Can't even get out of lane. First blood going over to Lorlo Shen.
Able to pick it up there. Huge 4-team Liquid. Stun lands from Matt onto Smoothie, and a little bit of harassment on the other side of the map as well.
Nice steal.
That kill, remember, is going to give some extra experience to Lorlo. He's level 6 now, Shen. When we talk about all these cross-map possibilities for Team Liquid, they do want to, get off to that early start and try and use those offensively. setting up play in advance with the Shen Stand United is so much more potent than those defensive ones. Here it is, though. Taunt lands, Impact tries to body slam, but it's too late this time, and Rainover looped around behind. He was able to get those early Moby boots and went straight back up to the top side. That's why everybody loves those on Elise. Take advantage of her early ganking power.
Rinse and repeat. See, moving around towards the bot. Contracts was trying to clean up the scuttle. We saw Golden Glue steal that just before we went back into the replay. He's having a tough time of just kind of gaining any ground, not really falling behind. But the things he's trying are coming up a little short. He'll have more invasion now towards the bot side as they look to refresh her back towards Lorlo, clean up the top side of the map since his Raptors.
So what happened here is Cloud9 saw Rainover come, even though he has Moby boots, he's running right by all these control wards. C9 know that he is in this bottom quadrant right now. So both mid lane and bottom lane should be playing defensively and waiting for this Elise dive. Rainover consequently has to waste a lot of time as there's not really a gank opportunity for him. Now he'll know that the blue buff is up, though, and that's up for grabs. He can just go ahead and steal that one.
I don't know. Rotating out of lane immediately. Sneaky and Smoothie have been called back for assistance. I don't know how close they're going to be able to get onto this. Smoothie tries for Piercing Arrow, but does not fire.
Yep, because they have contracts on the opposite side of the map, they know they'll be outnumbered. And he's going to get away with it. Contracts, though, should be able to go counter and just get the trade off on blue. Still, though, they should be tracking Rainover, and mid and bot are both playing at their turret, as you can see. These are the types of things where tracking the enemy jungler, communicating with the team, don't go aggressive at this point, can save a life.
Oh,
possibility of a dive, though.
Smoothie's not 6. They can't use the Cosmic Radiance. They only have the Bastion and Dazzle. It's not enough. What a timing for TL to hit this bottom lane before they get that last ultimate, and they come up with both kills.
Nice ultimate there from Matt to secure the second kill. Wow. Nails Smoothie after his flash over the wall, and that's the proactive setup that we were talking about. Shen ultimate comes in, Talia Roam comes through. Bottom lane, there's absolutely zero chance for Cloud9 outplaying that one, and this is what you have to do to snowball this type of composition with all those cross-map plays we talked about. Step number 1, looking good for Team Liquid. They're able to accomplish it. It does get difficult as you move later into the game towards the 5-on-5s, but you get a gold lead moving towards those 5-on-5s. You get the Drake lead, and it happens to be an Infernal Drake, so they're very happy about that one. Team Liquid off to a very good start there.
Nicely done. We'll see it again. Basically, the wave that got pushed off here would have given Smoothie 6.
Yep, and too bad because they're both toast anyways. Rainover goes over with the repel. Matt nailed him with the ultimate, as he said, and Team Liquid with a very clean 2 kills. First turret bonus on the gold, as well as the Infernal Drake now in their pocket.
Jensen, get a quick ward in lane so he doesn't get taken by surprise from the fog of war by anything, especially a Rainover. And they also have good coverage towards that left side. TL, with that pressure towards bot, gets to do basically whatever they want. And now we'll just clean up the jungle for the time being. Red buff to be picked up. Might even go to Piglet, but it looks like he'll stay to farm in lane. They have to be careful. C9 looks like they want to create pressure here in mid with a pick.
They do have a lot of vision to work with, but Team Liquid just farming out their jungle and camps right now. Riftfield would go a long way as far as trying to crack that all-important mid turret. Lorlo can't do much about this because the rest of his team is not coming over, and Team Liquid actually making the call to push very heavily on that bottom side. So even though this Riftfield does go over, it might be at the cost of the secondary turret. I don't see there any sign of Team Liquid stopping or any reason for them to stop on this push.
Nope. Piglet can easily dance away if he needs to. He's got a wall of members that are acting as sentry wards here through the jungle. Great movement before C9 really has the items or just the overall base power to react. Quick hit on the Rainover, put Sneaky in a bad spot. Cosmic Radiance now that Smoothie's ultimate is up. Jensen looking to throw in a shockwave. The Cosmic Journey taken. What a hit. Impact coming in from the side on the TP. TL was not ready. 3-man shockwave from Jensen. Contracts goes down. Nobody can get back onto the damage that Jensen created. And C9 have to let that one fizzle out, losing Contract.
A lot of that is because Sneaky was chunked out so early, he couldn't add much damage to that, even though Impact got a very sneaky flank there due to his teleport and was able to cask in Piglet. And then the shockwave is followed up. There's no more extra damage after that, because here's what happens. They commit very hard to Reignover, but Golden Glue, you see on your left side of your screen, was able to get his Seismic Shove combo onto Sneaky. And he's able to get both Sneaky's summoners and a large portion of his health down, which meant, look at the members of Cloud9. That was basically a 4v5 on the re-engage there, costing Contracts his life.
Shockwave like that isn't something you walk away from too much. But TL with the right thing in mind. Now more on the plate as they go for Impact. His teleport was down. Wherever he goes, it's going to be a long, long walk back to lane. It looks like the... Whoa. Let's go, Ford! Oh, Reignover comes in. Here's the cavalry. Brought through with the help of the Cosmic Journey, and Matt and the Bard plays across the map are helping the team, and they're all just helping each other. What synergy right now for TL.
Team Liquid doing exactly what they need to, again, with the cross map. Able to get up there very quickly with the Bard tunnels. Golden Glue actually playing a dangerous game there. However, they will get the top turret after as well, so even though Cloud9 used this Rift Herald on bottom side and they'll get this turret, it's still going to be even, and the extra kill goes over to Team Liquid. They continue to snowball.
And that first turret percentage through the roof for these series for them. Bot lane was their first target. And looks like they're going to make work now, possibly mid. It's been covered by Lorlo, but they're going to have to respect this push now.
All right, mid lane outer turrets are the only ones left standing for both teams. A little bit of vision there in the red quadrant as they vacate the area as well for Cloud9. A couple thousand gold, and the Infernal Drake is Team Liquid's lead. They also, should be working off of the more area that they have available on the map now, since they're the ones with all these long-range abilities. Trying to pick Cloud9 across, spread them out, and catch people unawares. Again, Bard setting up the plays for Shen to teleport in onto.
Oh, incredibly close. Whether or not Reignover was looking to use that for a zoning on the cocoon once he saw Jensen would dodge, but Jensen be too fancy these past few games on that Orianna. Playing it really well. Feeling confident with all his engages.
He always has been quick on his feet.
Yep.
Dodge there. And that was that Bard ultimate that we're talking about. They're looking to set up most of the plays with. It definitely does have a decent cooldown, level 1, but there's more tricks in the Team Liquid bag. Cloud9, though, they found time to group up. Impact's got the top lane slow pushing. Everybody now around mid. Jensen's side lane Orianna, though, he is not there. So they actually just want to hold this with Sneaky. And Impact is just there in case they needed extra disengage.
Yep.
Interesting, because Drake is up in 25 seconds, and there's not a lot of setup time left.
Lorlo can somewhat play the Stand United game here. He won't be able to teleport back to lane, so TL may want to hold this as long as they can for him on that top pressure. It looks like mid is the idea to save. Piglet has rotated down to the bot side. C9 may pull the trigger here. They're short on minions, though.
Golden Glue looking to clear him out. Able to get that one pretty quickly, and there is the Cloud Drake available. Reignover's running up to the top side. They want to trade Cloud Drake for a secondary turret. Stopping off at red first, so maybe they won't even get that turret. Now there's extra speed for Cloud9 to try and get back into position. Impact is outnumbered, but he might be able to do some damage to the minion wave.
Blast the minions away. Make sure you clear the front too. About 5 more shots for them to stay at this turret, and they're going to get Matt as well. It should go down. They've called over Golden Glue. Looks like the pressure's on the other side of the map for Piglet. He's able to deter 2 members, almost 3, as Sneaky's pushing down mid, but C9 aren't going to get much out of this.
So Team Liquid are able to get that trade. They grab an extra turret in exchange for a Cloud Drake. We'll see if it does end up paying off. As we said, they definitely want more, open area to work with, to try and find those picks and pull Cloud9 across the map. But as you said before, turrets are temporary, dragons are forever.
That's right. Let's see how they use that. Fire to water. We'll have to see. I'm sorry, fire to cloud. I looked at it wrong. That would have been a lot better if it actually was.
Next one, another cloud as well.
Yep. So we got 5 kills on the side of TL. Slowest early game, I should say, for C9 within this series.
Yep. This time around,
it's actually Lorlo.
It's Cloud9 banking on the stabilize from the early game because Team Liquid were able to utilize the cross map really well. So it's up to Cloud9 to try and trade objectives at this point until they're able to 5-on-5.
Oh, Tempered Fate. Too many members.
Definitely a possibility. Got to watch out, especially in the jungle where there's less room to dodge.
It's like, I can hit this 4-man, but should I? It's always a good question to ask yourself.
Yeah, Impact does have teleport available, but they'd rather not use it. Cloud9 trying to dodge out here and defend their jungle. Ooh, wait, they're leaving that there as a bait for sure. Yeah, not going to take it.
Yeah, he cast his line out first. That's not going to work right away. You have vision for a second, but you're just going to lose your ward. So pressure from Sneaky. He can't really rotate over too fast. They might find themselves in a pretty tight position here, even more so with Golden Glue walling off the team. Got a bat coming in from Impact. It is not a teleport in. He is just going to go ahead, not even home guard off base yet. Just waltz right back out to lane. As TL takes another one. 4-2 in turrets to continue to squeeze out more of a gold lead.
All right, now it becomes a little bit more difficult for these teams that don't quite have the same 5-on-5 setup, though. Yeah, it's all great and well early on in the game when you're teleporting around. Oh, this could be it!
Golden Glue just getting out. Probably wish he has the cleanse for that moment. A Tempered Fate from Matt on 3 members. C9 turns the other way.
Nice save there from Matt, allowing Golden Glue to get out, but Cloud9 want turret gold. They would just want to answer the turret discrepancy right now, and they have a minion wave on the way. The wave clear is mostly dead. Lorlo's here, though, so it's getting a little bit more scary for Cloud9. They got a shockwave!
Very close. Reignover gets the stand united just in time. Good eyes from Lorlo and call from the team. It's going to be Impact just on the left side, seen out by the Farseer's orb. And it looks like they're now going to be okay in this situation. Back and forth as C9 tries to get these kills, but TL is just limping away.
Yeah, pick there for Cloud9 does allow them to get about half the health of the mid lane turret. No gold reward, though. And Team Liquid still have a lot of deep wards in C9 territory to work with. That's how you spot out those rotations. That's how you take advantage of those rotations. And try and have your Shen stay united. Have Matt set it up with that Tempered Fate.
Quick steal over. Golden Glue actually had to deal with an early game with none of those blues. They were being taken in the jungle. C9 was able to take away quite a bit from each of these games, really. Doing and faring much better here. Tied up in CS in that mid lane. Top. CS discrepancy not too big, but Lorlo was able to find those few kills with Reignover's persistence towards the top side of the map. And now the shields are paying off as Lorlo has time to push and focus on these fights where he has to help the team. Everything in place for C9, though. Yeah, all this work that TL has done, you see a team do in the first 20 minutes. Now when a fight happens, C9 can pick up almost just as much. It gets scary in the mid game. We'll see if TL can hold on.
Matt's looking for it up on the top side. Contract so low.
Didn't think he expected to see Golden Glue on the other side of that with Reignover up and down. Doesn't have very far to go. And it goes down. No hit from Lorlo. That stand united is still down. C9 working off those cooldowns, and they're going to be working very well to get a double kill over onto Jensen. Here comes another one onto Piglet. The triple kill. This just happened about 14 minutes earlier last game. Jensen's back in it.
The 5-on-5 we keep talking about. Smoothie comes up with a huge Taric ultimate, and they guarantee the engage there with Impact. Broncos goes in. He gets the knockback. Before that, Jensen's able to fully take down Reignover as well.
Yeah.
Those kills, that's why we always talk about how big the mid-game swings can be, how difficult the coordination is with those teams that are more reliant on cross-map stuff and picking people off. It's just the squads that run these 5-on-5s it's so much easier here in the mid game to make a big push like this. Rainover gets chunked out super low. So does Contracts, but he goes invisible, and Jensen's able to finish the kill. Then again, Tarek, just ridiculous here. Comes in, everybody's immune to damage. The Team Liquid had to try and run, but they can't get away. Stun there again, re-engage is the Tarek plus the Gragas combination. They get the stun into place, and just like that, Cloud9 claims Baron. They're looking for all that gold you talked about trying to make up.
Yeah, it happened so quick because for the team that did work that 20 minutes early, you feel like it was all, the rug was swept out from under your feet immediately. You see Jensen doubling
right
the damage, almost the entire team there if you add it up, honestly. Absolutely crazy. Pretty good hit. 3-0-0 now, item spikes coming in for him. That even puts him a blasting wand over Golden Blue now.
Yeah, they can definitely take this turret, and they want to use the pushing power of Baron buff while they have it. The Drake is pretty much theirs to take, but it's just a Cloud Drake, and they'd rather, you know, start knocking down some of these turrets, use the minion waves while they have them. They are on a bit of a timer.
It looks like they'll be able to get this second one. Team Liquid says, we may lose 2 here, but we still want to push our side lanes. They're fine with what Piglet was doing in the bot. He now helps his 10 mid, and Lorlo will continue to push top side. C9's going to have to respect it. I think it's the right choice. They have to wait for the wave, and it may take them too long.
Little cannon minion shooting away.
Yep.
Slowly but surely. All right, Delio Wall is going to wall them in, but they actually want in.
They want in very much so. Smoothie and Jensen are back there. Big damage dealers on the fight, but Contract's also able to slice and dice as he comes in, and it may be Lorlo staying a little too long on that top side. The inhibitor turret's going down as they go for the inhib. He's trying to trade at least the turret and get back for his team, and C9's going to have a lot of time to work with here as they leave. He's not even going to be able to grab really 70% of that turret.
Yeah, Impact has the Baron empowered recall. He's going to be able to get back there, no problem. Teleport is available. They can also pick up that Cloud Drake on the way out if they need, but some pings are going down to the secondary turret on bottom side. They still have some time with this Baron buff, and again, they want to use it.
Straight to the bot side.
Grab that extra little bit of gold before you go home. Everybody's pockets are full right now on Cloud9. They are some rich boys as they'll pick up the Cloud Drake and then go on a shopping spree 24 minutes into the game.
Impact with 980. Everybody else is over 1,500 on the side at C9.
Uh-oh.
Impact might be able to get out to spend that money, but they're going to shake him upside down and steal his change.
Gotcha.
There goes a bit of it. Lorlo and Rainover make out like some cool cats.
Lunch money stolen successfully there. But is that really going to comfort them as Cloud9 now have control of the game? Huge Baron power play for them. And let's take a look at how this one started. Talia ultimate, okay, it walls them in, question mark, but then Golden Blue actually used his full rotation of spells there and gets nailed by Sneaky, coming up big with that Varus ultimate to allow Cloud9 the big push.
Almost. Making sure nobody else is taking it. Jensen.
Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Someone's always in the brush.
Check the brush. Shake your shoe upside down. Make sure there's no spiders in there before you.
What's that? Schrodinger's ward recently on Reddit. It's pretty good. I like that. Every brush, something or somebody or a ward in it. Always. 6-4 here is C9 has been able to pick up a few of their own kills. Remember, this was 5-0 for quite some time until that Jensen triple kill. Matt, pretty crazy spot, but knows out of those 3, he's going to have an angle for a double bind. He gets himself out nice and safe to play that one smooth. Cleanse now on to Piglet as he has a quick silver sash. And get himself to safety without the help of Matt just now, but some big plays from Matt has kept Sneaky and, or I'm sorry, C9 and the rest of the team at bay. Those tempered fates are really coming up big.
Yeah, they have been big. Now it's time for Cloud9's comp to shine, because early in the game, I like kind of games like this where you see the reasons behind both teams' compositions. Team Liquid, they pick all this cross-map stuff. You know, they're making the early plays, you know, ganking bottom, Shen ultimate and all that, getting the turrets down. Impact actually is going to have to do another 2v1 this time around. He's got all the right moves to slip out. So early game, Team Liquid's, they have all that mobility to make the right aggressive plays, and they get the turret lead. However, Cloud9 with the 5-on-5, group up, they get their one team fight that they want with that engage, and they got so many rewards out of it. Baron buff, bunch of money, and now they want more. Secondary turret here on the top side, under fire.
Right by them. Seems like they have deserved it so far. Team Liquid has more to say. That looks like it's going to be the Tempered Fate. No actual follow-up after that. Piglet push out mid, and C9 slowly putting a few things back in their favor. That Baron being one of the bigger ones, but they're really able to work now on capitalizing. Duskblade for contracts. If he finds anybody out, he's going to start canceling people out.
Big old Baron. That was a 20-footer, I have to say. Look at all the wards as well. The entire top half of the map is red. Light bright territory over here. Cloud9. It's kind of just goes to show how much control over the map they have after that single collapse that they got. And even though Team Liquid, they were able to get that secondary turret on the bottom side in exchange, in trade, it's kind of a drop in the bucket once these 5 members group up. Carrick now, not only does he have the big ultimate for immunity during that team fight, but the speed from Talisman here from Smoothie just makes it even easier for Impact to guarantee those engages.
Yep, got Swifties early. Make sure those dazzles hit his target and he can catch up just in time. Smoothie really loving this Tarek play, and it's come up big for Cloud9. See if the support wars get any better during this one. 0-1 and 4 here. It's a 0-0 and 4 as they've been both making big plays. Eyes on Baron, like you said, light bright security system in the jungle for C9. Good luck, TL, getting there without being seen. The Russia, I mean, the Tempered Fate pauses things, right? It gives them time to assess it, but it's going down so fast.
They can throw it at Baron right now. The problem is they don't know what the health is. It's actually timed very well. They stall it out at 3,000, but Cloud9 immediately return, and they go for the disengage.
Ooh. Quick task to throw him away. Impact wanting in, wanting out. That's only going to actually be 2 of the Cosmic Radiance. The team gets back on it. They actually get saved. I was wondering how they were going to play that one. Was it activated? And they got back to safety, but weren't able to use it as the engage. So they do get what they wanted. C9 again with Baron are going to be able to whittle down Team Liquid. Very slow, or maybe quick. Who knows if they take that next fight.
Yeah, they don't have Grog Assault or Tarek Ultimate, but Baron empowered recalls. They can get back to base and just defend their turrets until those cooldowns come back up. Then go for the hard engage. And Team Liquid up against the wall here. Game number 3 versus Cloud9 of this series. They had such a good showing in game number 1 and even a little bit of hope. Now though, maybe they get, that would have been such a big pick. If they could get both of the carries in that binding and try and kill one of them before the Tarek Ultimate came down, that might have been one of those game stalling picks that actually would buy them a lot of time. Not gonna be the case here though, and now they got a whole team to deal with.
Takes Piglet so long to get through these minions. Doesn't have huge damage. It's all about being in the fight for a while, charging up for him, getting those fervor stacks, getting the pin cushion C9 members, if he can stick them full of arrows, but none of them take any tags. Bottom lane's getting pushed in here by Impact as he's working off the ball for the team. Lorlo doing the same thing on the top side, and his Stand United is down, so that's a teleport in if he does want to come back to play.
All right, here they go. Baron empowered wave. They're going to burn this one down pretty quickly. Stand United's available, but no move from Team Liquid to contest.
Where will they decide? Piglet flashes out. Matt holds himself. They knew they had to pretty much play that one safe, and they can't even get the Hell Shrine as they keep moving forward. Impact on the front line, taking the shields or whatever heals if they are there. And they are going to back out ever so slowly. You see Bastion on Impact. That's that link with Smoothie. He can now dazzle at a distance. Impact moves forward, and looks like they're going to hold this for now. On to the Nexus turrets.
Only one left here. Cloud9 closing in. Team Liquid have no time left.
Lorlo swinging away. He teleports in. Here comes the fight. Cosmic Radiance goes down. The invulnerability goes up for Cloud9. And that means the TL members are going to start taking quite a bit of damage. Lorlo, one of the tankiest ones, finally getting himself into the fight. It's going to go down before he reaches the fountain. And that's Cloud9 coming up strong 30 minutes in. taking down Team Liquid.
Cloud9 play for the team fights, and they are rewarded. Mid-game, huge pick for them. Turns it into a Baron, and turns it into a victory in the series for themselves.
Smiling faces of C9 and Team Liquid. So close again, right on the edge of having those matches. Early game can be theirs, the turrets theirs, and it seems like once they get to that 20-minute mark, it's anybody's game once that fight happens. We saw that's when C9 came back again. This time, the triple kill for Jensen just around that moment, then Baron.
Jensen again, he has not died in this game. 7-0-2, again on Orianna. Smoothie's Taric, so big for the team fight presence. Working really well with Impact, by the way. Coordinating those stuns, getting those engages.
And it really is. I mean, I give props to TL for their early game. The level 5 hit on Smoothie before they had Cosmic Radiance in the bot lane. They were able to take down Sneaky and Smoothie immediately.
Well coordinated.
Super well coordinated. It seems like other teams are able to act faster or say, hey, I think we know what Liquid's doing towards the mid game. They're going to try to fight here. Let's hit that. It just seems like you almost can't find where they're instantly going wrong because it's a team fight. And you say, well, team fights are team fights. They can go either way. Yeah,
it is right now with the options for engage, hard engage, like the tanks as well as the items. It just seems so much more reliable to draft for the 5-on-5. Because even if you're facing this deficit, you're down in turrets. You know, as long as the CS is close right there, it just seems like the couple thousand gold or whatever, it's something to have to work around in the mid game. But boom, as soon as you get that guaranteed engage, as soon as you take that big team fight, then it removes so many of the options for a team running something a little bit more difficult like that.
It is interesting as well to see C9 having a bit of a different split coming off one of the teams that we saw last year at the finals, really having trouble finding themselves this season, rotating the roster in and out a bit, but kind of finding the same results with that. I'm sure fans kind of expect them to do more, but they are also saying that they're trying to find the problems, and they feel like they have kind of organized a bit of those through.
Impact for sure looked very good on Gragas. He was playing that front line extremely well. As we said, tons of engages for them, and victory for Cloud9.
That it is, and for a first-hand account on that win, let's hear from Degon and Cloud9's man in the mid lane.
All right, thank you very much, Riv, and great job on the day. I'm joined by Jensen, and now that last series was pretty crazy. Walk me through it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was Liquid put up a pretty good performance, I'd say. I don't know if it's because we played worse, but it definitely didn't feel like we were playing like a bottom-tier team. Yeah.
Do you think anything of that has to do with Reignover finding his form yet again?
It's possible. They've been going through a lot of like roster changes and stuff, so yeah, it's possible they just improved a lot.
So you've got a big matchup for playoff positioning and seeding tomorrow against FlyQuest. What are your thoughts on that match?
I'd say FlyQuest have been looking pretty shaky, so I'm pretty confident going into the match, but we've also had some pretty questionable games, so it could go either way, but I'm expecting us to come out on top.
All right, good luck tomorrow in that game. Thank you very much for that. And for more, we're going to send it over to Dash and Mark.
Thank you very much, Degon. Great to hear from Jensen there. Of course, I would be pretty confident going up against FlyQuest after putting up 2 huge Orianna performances the way he did. But I think the point remains that this series as a whole wasn't incredibly easy for Cloud9 because, yeah, game 1, they tried something with the TF and it didn't work. Even in this game, though, they fell behind in the early game due to Reignover's pressure.
That's the thing to point out, though, is just because even though Team Liquid's team comp, I mean, you can clearly see it's just not going to team fight as well as the one that Cloud9 has overall. The Taric is going to outperform the Bar generally. Orianna and Kha'Zix might combo together better than Talia and Elise and those kinds of things. But Team Liquid had done enough in the early game to secure themselves a 3,000 gold lead about and probably be in a position that they should be able to close this game out. So it's one of those things where Team Liquid drafted to the idea that we got to get there fast. Orianna was taken in the first rotation before TL could ban it out again. Overall, a good decision out of Cloud9, recognizing that, hey, we can't mess around. We need to win this series.
Distinctly different comps and play styles. So let's watch them interact. Very early on, Team Liquid's going to pick up a bunch of kills. Once again, Reignover being a part of all of them.
And this is kind of the reason that we were saying we're surprised to see him taken out in game 2, because you would have liked to see 3 games out of Reignover based off how he's been performing last last week, and then, yes, we said game 1 wasn't great, but give him a bounce-back game. And you saw it this game. He came back and did great. Influences top early, gets the teleport advantage. They're able to go make a play down the bot side. After this, Golden Glue gets out of lane very well with Reignover, including last week. His roams were much better, seemingly, when he's able to key off of Reignover's decision-making. And, you know, when we see Dardoch in, well, yeah, maybe Dardoch makes a bit better plays on his own, but they obviously work together better as 5.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we could have 5 great individuals, but if they don't work together well, then what's the heck is the point, right? And in this situation, it does seem that the team is more willing to follow Reignover in those plays that he was making. We saw Matt on the Bard as well, performing quite well, at least in the early stages of the game. But as you mentioned, it came to a place where Team Liquid takes a team fight up against C9. And, I mean, just by virtue of this comp, you're probably unlikely to win. On top of the fact that you got Cloud9 members piloting these champions, one of which is Jensen on that Orianna once again.
And that's the critical thing, because between their top side of the map, it did feel like they got pinched into a bit of an awkward situation. The Trundle and Narbands making it so they had to flex the Gragas into the top lane, and then their last pick became a jungler, and it ends up as a Kha'Zix. Not super strong in the meta right now. We haven't seen it look too impressive. So with that falling behind early game, you're starting to wonder if this is going to be a situation that can they even get back into it.
Oh, and also, where's the Kayn gone? Just as a curiosity, I want to throw that out there. But the Orianna we saw picked up in the first phase for Cloud9, and that to me speaks to the try-hard pants being put on, right? Like, oh, we went down a game, we can't lose this one, let's get Jensen on Orianna no matter what, before they have an opportunity to ban it in that second phase. Let's go ahead and watch Jensen play it out with the triple kill at 20 minutes. This is where the tides turn in favor of Cloud9.
Right, and he had a couple good looks earlier on in the game. There's a push in the bottom where he got a monster shockwave, just couldn't quite follow up on it. This time around, TL gets contracts low, kind of starts tunneling onto him. Jensen does not land his ultimate, so I think that once again kind of baits TL into this over-aggressive mentality. They jump forward, they get the kill early on, and then the monster Taric ultimate, allowing them to run full force forward. They get the second kill on the Golden Glue, and once again, they have multiple members who are able to chase down, Impact on the tank, able to find the right targets to focus down for his team. They get that triple kill, they get the Baron off of it, they quickly take mid inhib. The game still stays relatively close for a little bit with TL finding a pick off and some turrets, but they get the next Baron for free and end the game right after that.
Right, that's the thing, right? At that point, you're basically hoping to find enough successive picks, right, to claw your way back into it and maybe even just push off to end off of one of those. But otherwise, it's kind of disaster for Team Liquid once they lose that mid-game team fight and give control to the better 5v5 team.
Yeah, and like you said, there were still like a couple moments where you're like, TL can maybe do this. When C9 was getting their second Baron, all 5 members were alive on both teams, and Taric had to be used very early and defensively just to run out of the pit and get away. But, you know, C9 did play to their win condition. They found the early game, or the mid-game team fight to get the lead.
All right, 1.3k damage on Taric. I was just laughing at that because that's
hilariously
no.
How much did he stop?
Exactly. He finds his impact in other ways, and that's where I actually want to talk about this pick just as a champion, right? Because in the League of Tanks, we've got the Alistairs, the Brahms, and all that kind of stuff still. We're still seeing the Karmas, even Lulu's being picked up today. Where do you feel Taric falls into the meta?
I actually think he definitely falls into a very highly rated position. I think you look at Thresh, Blitzcrank, Bard as some of like the most important playmakers, and I actually think Taric is probably right up there in that tier. Alistar, Braum, maybe a little bit further behind, though they have other upsides of being a little tankier maybe. He actually has a great laning phase against some range matchups, as well as setup, as well as come mid to late game team fights. You can make your whole team unvulnerable. So it's just a completely strong champion that I'm not sure why it's not higher prioritized.
I was about to say, do you expect more people to be picking up in the coming weeks?
I think they should, because we've seen it with Kalista, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. You throw Taric in, he gets a stun for himself. It makes him a little bit more self-sufficient, doesn't rely on other frontliners. But if you have another frontliner, which, by the way, tanks are super strong right now, it's not that hard to find someone that you can really set up to get both your frontline and your backline Taric ulted together.
Very much so. And hey, Smoothie will receive an honorable mention for his Taric play, while Jensen will once again pick up player of the game. That triple kill, disgusting scoreline for Jensen, 7-0 and 2, 100% kill participation. Hard to ignore his performance, that damage, leading Cloud9 to another victory.
Yeah, I gotta feel a little bad for Smoothie, but in the great performance, probably would have gotten it on another game.
I don't know, Smoothie's probably all right with it.
Well, I'm sure he's more happy to win, don't get me wrong, but, you know, he's got to pad those player of the games, you know, best support award coming out soon probably, so
well, and in general supports this split, right? Again, as we've got the Bards, the Threshes, the Blitz, they're opening themselves up to a lot more recognition as players, and I love to see that. A role that, you know, by nature won't necessarily look as flashy in terms of you're never dealing the damage. Being able to play these high-impact champions in the support position is just fun to watch.
Especially considering how long we were in that kind of ranged mage support position where it was almost a year and a half of
I'm almost mad at Adrian for bringing out Karma.
Yeah, I'm like, stop that. We're leaving that behind.
We were so close. We were so close to being done with it. Why do you have to bring that out again, Adrian? I mean, who knows? At least it's going to help, you know, when it comes to the meta this split, I'm excited by the fact that it seems like a revolving door in the sense that it really, you know, all right, hey, tanks started coming out. And then people are like, well, if tanks are coming back out, let's go to Janna. And if Janna's coming back out, let's go to the poke, you know, damage-heavy supports to bully her. And then if we're going to do that, let's go back to tanks.
I think it just speaks kind of to the meta as a whole right now because we're like, oh my god, tanks are broken. And then you see some of these Camille performances and you're like, oh wait, this is actually pretty crazy. And then you see some J4s and Kleds and all this other stuff being picked. I think we are in just a very flexible meta overall.
All right, well, so as we're closing the series here for Cloud9, we're going to be welcoming the members from NALCS 1, where Dignitas actually just took down our #1 seeded Immortals in a 3-game series. A nice little stab back here in that third game. So real briefly, let's go ahead and pull up Champ Select for this game just to set the table, what these teams were working with when it came to the Dignitas victory.
And what's so funny is we were just kind of talking about, you know, Adrian bringing back the karma and all this stuff. Well, this time he ends up on Alistar, and it shows that he's not just that guy who can only play the kind of lame bully champions, though. I would say that's probably his preferred style. We've seen him play Leona, we've seen him play Alistar, and once again, this time on that champion, building a massive front line because the Jhin was taken early on, Kalista not focused at all, which I find very surprising.
Right, as soon as tanks came back into the meta and lethality was buff, we saw a lot of people going for Jhin, and then we saw that the response in most cases was a triple tank line that Jhin just simply can't eat through. Once again, the Jhin gets picked early. There's no priority on Maokai from Immortals. Dignitas has shown that they love to play this champion, and hey, they don't go full triple tank. Kled still has slippery health building, you know, situations, and Alistar as well. It can be a complete nuisance.
Right, and I understand the Kled pick just because you are a little bit concerned about just picking a straight tank in the top lane and maybe getting focused down a little bit on the side of Immortal. So I like that someday as well being a carry threat, getting a champion that can kind of pop off in these games. It doesn't have to be stuck on just the Maokai. And especially when Shrimp's getting targeted a little bit heavy with the Nunu, yeah, we put him on the Maokai. Once again, the same kind of idea. Shrimp can be too aggressive sometimes. This does give him a little bit more focus on control as opposed to just running in and making crazy plays.
All right, now let's take a look at some of the gameplay from this third game of the series. Heading into it, 8:30 into the game here in the mid lane.
And this is kind of the big play that opened up Dignitas to take this series. And it was just a bit of a mid-skirmish 2v2 that ends up breaking out with teleports coming in, bot lanes roaming up. It starts out as a 1-for-1, but then the big thing here is going to be the Kled ultimate, tracking Cobelter over the wall, setting this up, and then Adrian with a great headbutt hold combo onto the both bot lane members, allowing a really easy chase down for the rest of Dignitas. Flame ends up over the wall, not really able to get involved in this fight, even though he teleported down. It was just one of those situations where Immortals had a better positional, or excuse me, Dignitas had a better position to take the fight.
All right, 3-for-1 in favor of Dignitas there. Now we're going to jump ahead to 21:30 into the game. Dignitas catching Immortals around the Baron. And hey, give credit to Immortals for going for it with 2 people down, but Dignitas responding in kind and find the fight they want.
This is the really big thing. And once again, Cobelter has a decent wall to stop Altec from getting in, but Keen's able to come around the backside. People are getting low from this Baron, as well as the fact, like you said, there was just a skirmish afterwards. Just trapped in the pit, stuck on split calls.
Adrian!
Just not quite enough damage to finish the Baron off in time. They have to choose to turn, which they can't really do. They're so low already, and it's just a good call, like you said, to try and force it down. Just not quite enough damage available to their team. The teleport eventually came through as well, coming back up. And Dignitas punishes, gets the 4-for-0, gets the Baron, and you're going to see on the gold graph really where that spikes and takes over the entire game.
I like the call from Mortals. I like the call from Dignitas better to contest. They get the, you know, the 3-4-man pulverize there in order to make sure that the damage comes through. Zero them out. They get the Baron themselves. And then once again, smooth sailing for Dignitas as that gold graph just continues to ascend in their favor.
And overall, just I think this is another example of just Adrian showing his diverse champ pool and the overall diverse champ pool of the bot lane, taking things like Karma early in the series, pivoting when he sees the Jhin, saying, nope, we want to try and get a big beefy front line. The Alistar, the pick, perfect for that.
Now, let me ask you this. Is this Dignitas overperforming? Or I wouldn't even call it overperforming. Is this Dignitas performing well, or is this Immortals performing poorly?
I still think just watching Immortals draft since 7-14, I'm just not sold on them. There's almost none of the same priority picks you see out of other champions. The Jhin taking extremely early on despite the fact that Kalista is a great champion. I know Tristana has a good matchup into it. I know they took Tristana first, but at the same time, you can just take this Kalista and brute force plays down around the bot lane, and you are stronger early game.
Right.
And that's something that Immortals is pretty good at, working with their kind of win conditions. Smithy is a smart enough jungler to know, with Kalista, I'm going to try and snowball that lane.
He very much so is. But I have to recognize that with Altec and Adrian in the lineup, Dignitas is quickly ascending the ranks, right? They pick up their victory today. Cloud9 did as well, but in a 3-game series against Team Liquid, so they'll remain tied in the standings. But for this Dignitas squad, the competition that they're taking down, and in a lot of cases, the way they're doing it, to me, is very impressive, and would cause me to worry if I'm TSM or CLG or any of these other top-tier squads that might have to face Dignitas come the postseason.
That's what I was about to say, is it's not so much like, oh my god, Dignitas looks scary right now, but if they keep this form up, they're probably going to be the toughest opponent in the first-round series, and they might end up upsetting somebody who is very scared to play them, and that's why the 1-2 seed are going to become so important, and why that CLG versus TSM match next week may be the highlight of the whole split.
Things are getting interesting here, ladies and gentlemen. Player of the game going to Someday this time around. You got that roam to the mid to get the first turret on that Kled. He's shown mastery on carries, split pushers, tanks alike. He can do it all.
Yeah, that great TP play in the first example where he's able to track on the Poe Belter. Just overall a great player. Has a very diverse champion pool. He'll spam Maokai when it fits the team comp and then can flex off of it when he needs to. Plays carries, plays tanks. Huge player.
And for Immortals, hey, they just suffered the loss. Once again, they were solidly in first place. Their destiny was in their own hands. They've got to be concerned about dropping any more series from this point onward if they want to remain at the top of the table.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is that when we were looking at the strength of schedule, overall the teams were pretty similar. A couple points above 50%, a couple points below 50%, but for the most part, even strength of schedule for those top 3 teams. Them dropping this series to Dignitas does not bode super well for them moving forward, and it's the kind of thing where I would hesitate for Immortals, just because, like we said, 7-14 not looking too hot. The 7-15 changes are coming, but there's still going to be a bunch of the same strong champions between 7-14 and 15.
Yeah, very much so. Now with Dignitas, again, the changing meta around the supports, playmakers, great. That's serving them well. I want to talk about the Baron just a little bit more because we can't ignore the fact that they did have to turn a Baron play there in order to win the game. In order to really grab control of that game. And even in a lot of their impressive wins, there has been some reliance on the Baron to strictly close the game. Is there any concern against, hey, a team like Immortals, for example, but also TSM and CLG, these top-tier teams, and their ability to contest the Baron and maybe not give Dignitas so many easy avenues to a victory?
It's happened so many times now over the course of the season that I think it's not really like oh my god, it's a crazy 50-50 Baron. They obviously understand the limits just very well. So it seems very, very risky compared to like, oh, what's the difference between that and a lower tier team? It seems like a pretty similar situation, but they just play them slightly better. So when they have the Kalista, the Nunu, the Cho'Gath, they always seem to just find a better way to use that Baron to get an early lead. Even in this series, when they were down 10k against Immortals, they still took the only 2 Barons of that game. They ended up losing, but they seem to have great Baron awareness and how long it takes an enemy team to approach on
That's
them.
a good point, right? They keep ending up with the Baron, which means they're doing something right around the Baron, and that's hard to ignore. Let's go ahead and put a pin in the day's games. Let's take a look at the standings. Despite their loss today, Immortals do continue to hold on to first place, while Team Dignitas and Cloud9 take 4th place, and both lock their spots officially for the playoffs, leaving Team Envy in 6th and Team Liquid knocked down to 9th. We'll be back again tomorrow with another full day of action. Coverage kicks off with Cloud9 versus FlyQuest on NALCS 1, followed by TSM squaring off against Team Envy in the Battle Arena. Over on NALCS 2, Omar God and Counterlogic Gaming face Mike Young and Phoenix 1. Then Equifox take on Team Dignitas later in the day. Any particular one that speaks to you tomorrow?
I think I'm just going to be tracking the top teams overall. I mean, CLG looked pretty good today. They got Phoenix 1 tomorrow. You would expect them to handle that one just as easily as they seem to handle Envy today. But it's just, of course, where else are they going to go? Because, like we said, Immortals is done for the weekend, and that kind of already puts the pressure on CLG and TSM to win, to match them. And if they just have a small slip up and drop a series, that puts them in a really dangerous spot.
Tracking those top teams, as well as how Omar God will respond to the pressure maybe coming from Mike Young in the jungle. That's going to do it for today. So for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more North American LCS. Good night.